Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. I have with me the most respected leader in our community, Miss Hazel Ouano Apeurto. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Lloydetta. It's been my pleasure to be invited here and participate in your show, and a great opportunity for me to share my experiences.
All right, that's great. Well, we're going to hear a lot of that as well. Now, you are the former Honorary Consulate General of the Philippines for Newfoundland and Labrador.
For Newfoundland and Labrador,
okay,
that's
so
right.
what were your responsibilities?
Oh, that's a varied responsibility, Lloydetta. First of all, is assistance to our fellow nationals, Filipinos, and I do share information regarding the Philippines. I go to schools like Marine Institute, university, the Girl Scouts here, and give presentations. I encourage trade, bilateral trade of business between Canada and the Philippines, and those are the most things that I usually do, and host when our Philippine ambassador is here and the embassy staff host them here and introduce them to the different ministers of the provincial government, members of the provincial government, and I introduce them to, like, for the mayor, the lieutenant governor, and the other ministers.
Right. It's a very high-level position.
Well, it is. But we have to remember it's honorary, so it's volunteer. Right. But I really enjoy doing this, and I've been doing it for the past 20 years. Right. So that makes me feel old.
No, you just raised up the standard for being a leader in our community.
I hope so.
That's right. The other day I watched the documentary Becoming Labrador, and that's about a lady from the Philippines who accepted a position, and she thought she was actually going to Ecuador. Oh. But she arrived here in Labrador in the middle of winter. So we have a lot of people from the Philippines throughout the province. About how many would you say are here?
Combined in Newfoundland and Labrador, it'll be 3,000, over 3,000 now, and with the immigration programs and welcoming immigrants and workers from different parts and of the world, especially Philippines. We have a lot coming in now to Newfoundland from the Philippines.
Right, and of course they're right across the province from Labrador and Newfoundland. So what kind of jobs and employment are they filling in when they come here?
When they come here, they usually are in the hospitality business, like they would be working with McDonald's, Tim Hortons, the hotels, and the hospitals here with Eastern Health, and with professions. They could be also doctors, nurses, teachers, and all varied sorts of professions. That when they come here, and they do caregiving as well, and janitorial services, and they do all sorts, because as you know, Filipinos are very resilient, easy to deal with, loyal, and speak English pretty well, because we were under the influence also of the Americans, so education was brought to us during our history, and we speak English.
So well, they're very good caregivers. I remember I was at an event, and one of the nannies for a couple, like, she was looking after this little child, and she was just, you would think it was her own, right? She was just so caring and loving. And of course, a few people from the Philippines that I know are very much like that as well,
That's just the way we are, nurturing. And we care the children like their own, because that's a big responsibility for us to take care of someone's child or children. We are accountable for their well-being as well while the parents are working, and we are we take responsibility in every aspect of our jobs.
Right. Yes, they have very good work ethics.
Yes. As I said, easy to get along. Speaks English and loyal and respectful, and good means of communication. They communicate well. Yes.
Right. Now you mentioned the healthcare, And I know that you contributed many years of your life when you came here as a psychiatric nurse. Could you tell us a bit about that, about your journey here?
I came here in the early 70s, and that so don't add my age there, okay? And coming here, I was working in the old hospital, at the old Janeway Hospital, Children's Hospital, and I studied, and because I was working in psychiatry, I wanted to enhance more of my learning. So I took the post-basic course in child adolescent mental health course with the Mont School of Nursing. So since then, I have been doing courses and taking, just to enhance my knowledge and to know the culture. Even took bartending and cake decorating in my off downtime. And I also did babysit when I was in my younger years, and I'm still young.
Yes, you're definitely still young.
Yes, and yes, that's what brought me here. My work as a nurse, and then educating myself and be participating in the mainstream community, and that's how I integrated. And then from then on, we have organizations here, the Filipino organizations, the Philippine Canadian organizations, Philippine Women's Organization. So I was one of those, part of those, a member or one of the founders for the Philippine Women's Organization. And so it just bloomed in my participation here, and that's how I integrated. My father used to say, when you are there, you are not there to sleep, you are there to learn.
That's a good one to remember.
Yes.
So when you mentioned being one of the founding members of, say, the Filipino Women's Association, what were the objectives of that, and what did they do? What kind of activities that were carried out?
The Philippine Women's Organization, we lobby for the good health, well-being of women. We discuss about the care, caring with the family, and issues of, well, we also, like say, we assist or help anyone who needs assistance with their, like say, mental health issues. And we for the seniors, the elderlies, and also for children. Like if one Filipino family who's new and they don't have any knowledge yet of who's going to babysit the child, we just say so and so is available. So that's one of the things that we do with the Philippine Women's Organization. We participate in activities like this program that we have now, and yes, we do participate in anything that would enhance of women, as well. Not being you know, it's a balancing thing, because then people would say we're a bit feminine, or you know, because Filipinas are viewed as shy, demure, and just you know, we are stay behind and not as vocal. But so that was how it was viewed. But now we are speaking for equality between the husbands and wife. We don't want to surpass anyone, but to be included and be respected as women.
But there are also other organizations in addition to the Filipino Women's.
Like for instance, the Filipino Canadian organizations. Yes, that is a membership with Philippines, and those Filipino married to Canadians, to Newfoundlanders. So their husbands and wives and family become members of the organization. It's an exchange of the culture then. And the former organization, or the Filipino Association, that when I was here, that was I say former because that was the time when it was the only organization. And because of integration now and the rise of many Filipinos coming in, and regional Filipinos, like because Philippines divided Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and each has their own culture, a culture within a culture. So somebody from Cebu would have their Visayan organization, someone from Manila would be the Luzon organization or Cordillera, or yes,
Okay.
and so the Filipino Canadian organization, and so the Philippine Association, it's still there, and solely also, and we just blend together whenever there's any activities, like for instance, eruption of a volcano, and the recent one there, that was a while, was in Taal, in Batangas. So all Filipinos here, we come together and we do fundraising and give donations. Yeah.
Right, and you kind of support each other.
Support each other, yes.
Yeah. And so that's really good. Now, I realize because you have such a large population of Filipinos here, how are they able to maintain their culture whilst they're here?
Well, we have every year, ever since when I came here, we always have the Filipino Independence Day.
Right, yes.
So we celebrate the Philippine Independence Day commemoration, the celebration of our independence from the Spanish rule. And that is on June 12, every June 12. And lately we have, well, this year we haven't celebrated because of the pandemic, but last year we were in Mount Pearl, and then the years before that we were at City Hall, St. John's City Hall, and we have our dances, our programs, our singing. We invite guests from the city and provincial officials, and like you too.
That's right, yes. I know I've attended your flag raising ceremony at City Hall a couple of years ago, yes. And of course that's the way in which you are you've integrated into the community, and the community feels a part of you as well.
And we also get invited, like in my position, I get invited by the Marine Institute to do orientation for students who go to the Philippines to study the aquaculture, and then the other departments here too are represent for trade. There are challenges. I know you haven't asked me this, but there are challenges. It's we know, well, it's not everyone that comes here are happy, but we have some challenges because part of my responsibility is to oversee the Filipino seafarers, and when they encounter some problems, then I have to represent and get lawyers, and that's a challenging thing for me, and that's just one of my responsibility among the many, which I enjoy.
Yes, yeah. Well, thank you so much. I said earlier, I've been truly honored to have you on our show, and
thank you
wish
for
you
having
the
me
very
here.
best.
And thank you too.
A pleasure. Don't go away. Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. I have with me Alick, who's a volunteer, and he loves giving back to the community. Welcome.
Welcome for having me.
Yeah, that's great. Now, what brought you to Newfoundland, Labrador?
Like most people who are from away, we came here in the first place because of work. So I came here in 1986, December, during snowstorm, to start working at the Janeway.
Okay. And where did you come from originally to do this?
I was in Hong Kong, but I lived in England, and I trained in England, and then I live in Toronto, so I've been a few places in the world before coming and settled in Newfoundland for good.
Good, okay. So when you came here for work, what was the work and where did you work?
I am an orthoptist, which is not very common. There was a vacancy here and nobody was filling the job, and I applied when I was in Toronto, and I came here. I was the only one for about 10 years before they could find a second one to help my work. And since then I've been working at the Janeway Pediatric Eye Clinic, and I just retired in June.
Oh, well, happy retirement.
Yes, after 33 and a half years.
Wow, well, that's a lot of contribution to this province. And of course, you, when you worked here as an orthoptist, what was the what was that? What did you have to do?
It's like a technology type of work, and I assist the clinic, and it's almost like you have medical surgeons there, and if I help out with the minor procedures, then we can have more efficient time in seeing patients and get the work done much quicker and more efficiently and benefiting for all the patients in the community.
Okay, well, thank you. Now, so you've been involved in the community for this many years. Tell us some of your pioneers. Yeah.
Since I first came, I noticed I met some people like Hazel you met earlier,
Right,
and she belongs to some of the Newfoundland Association of multicultural events. So I started taking part in, and slowly I get more and more involved, and I got involved with the Newfoundland and Labrador Chinese Association, and slowly I getting more and more involved and became the president at a certain point in time.
Yes.
And I also involved with a lot of helping kids because I have a young child at the time. So I helped to promote, to foster their what we call activities. So I involved in a lot of chess. I actually helped the provincial team for over like 12 years, taking the team members to participate around the country every year to take the top chess players in the province to compete against other provinces. So which was a very rewarding job, and seeing the kids can, exercise their intelligence and their ability to work together as a team. So helping out a team is very important to make a community together.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great for community building. So was this chess team primarily young people? Or?
It involved from grade 1 to grade 12. So we organize events across the province to promote the chess game, because this is a game that can help in other areas as well. So I was pretty involved with that before I took on to photography, or when things starting to move on a little bit, yes.
Yes, okay, because I was going to ask you, you are an avid photographer. I see a lot of your photographs of the beautiful province on social media. Now, what is your passion for that?
People said because I work with eyes, so I have the eyes as well.
That's a good one.
I just love contributing the beauty in this province, the scenery, the events, the culture. Everything is fantastic in Newfoundland, and I really believe in this province. So I have time, I bring my camera out. Actually, I don't leave home without my camera. Just even today, I have 2 cameras in my bag. So I take the pictures and share with people that I like and people that wants to know more about the provinces. So I post a lot of pictures on social platforms and help events, festivals in town, and help the local artists, community, musicians, so everyone can benefit from sharing the beautiful things in this province.
Right. You should be an ambassador for the province. Yes, because all of the beautiful places that you've shown, I mean, people from around the world can see that and say, oh, I want to go there, I want to be there,
Yeah, one of the things was the New York crew actually from the morning show came, and I was with them taking icebergs. Outside the harbor there.
All right, yeah. So that's great, and because it connects you with so many people as well.
Yeah, because I find Newfoundland is just a small place. When I was growing up, of course, I know about, but it's Newfoundland, but not like Newfoundland. I thought this is a place, but imagine, fate brought me here. I would never realize I would come to Newfoundland when I was studying in primary school, hearing about Newfoundland, and now I've been here over 34 years and loving it.
Right. So what has influenced you to stay for so long? Many people come and then they leave after a while, but why have you stayed?
Well, a lot of people, of course, will say it's the scenery and the and the friendliness of the people. I all agree with that. But you have to experience that. You have to really mingle with the people and starting to share, your knowledge and your feeling about the province with others that you know. I find that by sharing my experience in Newfoundland, I can bring my knowledge and my love of this province to other people, and that's very rewarding because I just love this place. And even my son has moved on to another province and he's staying, in Alberta, but I said I will always stay in Newfoundland.
Right. There's just something about this place that embraces you, and you just keep on giving and giving.
Yes, of course, just like so many places you can explore. I've been on East Coast Trail many times, and there's still many places I haven't been to. I was in the Northern Peninsula, in Glee, seeing the ice flow. It was so beautiful. Everywhere is just enough time to travel is what I want for my retirement days.
Right, yes, as you've really been enjoying it, your staycation.
Yes.
And that's been doing really well for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place?
Too many. Just even this month, I've been to of course, Allerton's, Cape St. Mary's, Buena Vista, Trinity, and then all the trails, just like Mad Rocks trails in Carbonear. They're all many, many good places. And also, whale watching on Zodiacs. This is a must do for people who hasn't been on a boat ride before. The amazing whale showing in this province is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's second to none.
Yes.
I've heard somebody say. Yeah.
Yes.
So now there's a large Chinese population here in the province.
Yes.
How do you feel that they have integrated into this?
I find that they're integrating really well, because I find that a lot of the people who have been here, like in the 60s or 70s, they started to retire, and their business are all taken over by the newer generation, and it's a good sign, because I've been to a lot of these Chinese establishments I had been before, and now they are run by younger generations. They have new ideas, they started new families, and they are really doing well in this province.
Right. So how do you think the province can best welcome people who are coming from around the world here?
Well, a lot of them, they bring their parents here and they do not speak our language. Sometimes if you have some brochures in a different dialect that people can understand more, or separate group that can help them to integrate into our culture, or at least know what's available in the province, will be excellent for them to learn.
Yeah, because I knew that one time when I was working with ethnic minority seniors, we had to have volunteers who spoke Cantonese, Mandarin, and to sort of help the older. So a lot of younger people came to work and brought their parents.
Yes.
Because the parents, a number of them didn't speak English, so they had a little bit of a difficulty integrating, and getting around. And so by being able to have brochures in languages they could read would help that as well.
Yeah, the other good thing is with technology, people can go online these days. So a lot of parents who are older now, they can still come here and without the boredom, because they can have accessibility to online and learn things more through their own languages. So it's a kind of reducing the barriers to other people from different cultures coming here as well.
Okay, that's great. You are such a positive person. Like, I love to just sort of see your Twitter and go to it and says, oh, what's Alick sharing today? So what do you think has influenced that passion for being positive in your life?
Well, I find being positive is a good thing, because it makes you active, makes you commit to everything. And this is why I was quite involved with the Positive Thinkers Club. I was the president for 2 years, and now I'm still involved with it, trying to get people who are positive to come to speak at our seminars or at our meetings.
Right.
And one of our best, most welcome speakers, guess who? Was Ryan Snowden, and he got the biggest crowd coming to our meeting, because he was another positive person that I always remember.
Right, that's right. And of course, telling you the weather is not always the positive thing.
And this is why, with weather like this, we can still see positivity. I sometimes take a lot of pictures in the fog, and people said, what's so beautiful about the fog? But I said, fog in the city. Actually, it's an excellent background for pictures and weddings too.
Yes, yeah, oh, that's great. And yes, of course, the time in the fog, we have it. That's part of what makes us unique here in this province.
Yes.
Yeah.
St. John's actually is the foggiest city in North America, if you Google it.
Right, okay. So we have something that we're the first of.
And we're proud of that.
Yeah, that's great. So what is a message or something you'd like to tell the people who want to come to the province, want to spend time here, stay here, especially the young people?
Well, the young people, they have their friends, easy to mingle with their age group. And the best thing is you have to go out and socialize with not just people from your own background, but also with Newfoundland, because you're going to find out so many interesting things about Newfoundland that you can blend them together to suit your own style and enjoy it more that way. This is how I find, by learning the Newfoundland languages, jingles, and the food, I enjoy my life even better.
Right, that's great. And we can tell. And of course, you stay quite positive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, in everything that you do. Well, this is great. We really appreciate having you here today. And I know you're retired and you want to travel and be around, but we're just so happy that you made time to join us today. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right. Thank you. Thanks to Hazel and Alex and you for joining us. Join us next time on Sharing Our Cultures as we bring you more remarkable stories of individuals from around the world who've come to call this place home.